Hi, welcome to another edition of Legal Quilts. Like I promised, I was going to do a quick video on the quilt show I went to. I did not take any video at the quilt show because I forgot my phone in the car. And it was cold, it was rainy. I was just not walking back to the car. So I'm doing this after the fact. But it was a great quilt show up in Lancaster. This was not the American Quilt Society show. It was just one put on in Lancaster, and it was wonderful. It was in a great location. There were lots of vendors. The quilts, I loved how it was arranged. They had rows of vendors, but between the rows of vendors, there were the quilts hung up. So you didn't have to go someplace else to see the quilt, or they were hung around the edges. So it's not like vendors in one room, quilts in another room. You got to see everything all at once. It was really crowded, but it was still really good. So of course, and so this is going to be mixed in from all the vendors kind of doing it. So of course I got fabric. This marbled fabric I just fell in love with. That's going to be used in butterflies, among other things. You notice I have this thing for like um, wavy fabric, that has this kind of design in it. And we know I'm not a big fan of greens, but I saw these greens and I fell in love with them. I think I actually already have these two, but that's okay. Now I have more because I actually like these greens. So I feel like I just did a butterfly in those colors. And we all know me and peacock feathers. Just fell in love with that. You can kind of see the peacock a little bit in there. This is not going in that Irish chain quilt. It was just more peacock fabric because I can never have too much. Um, I got, I found this, a little scrap patch, which is fun. Every place we go when we travel, I try to pick up a patch, and I happened to find this one. So that was fun. We did not just go to the quilt show. We also went to the Hopewell Furnace, which is a National Historic Site about the beginnings of the Iron Age and Iron Industry in Pennsylvania. And I found this in the in the gift shop, and I decided to buy it. As you can see, it is kind of the penny rugs thing. You can see it here. They give you the thread. It's a whole kit. Now they call this ornaments, but I'm not going to use this as ornaments. I realized this has been bothering me in the back of my mind. Like, you really should do a penny rug. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You're going to hear more about that when we get into Scrap Summer, which is fast approaching. I'll kick that off Memorial Weekend. And one thing I did learn while looking into this, I have been doing my applique all wrong. Now, you know me. There's no quilt police. No, you weren't wrong. No, I was wrong. I've been using the wrong stitch and I wondered why it took so long and didn't look as smooth. This is why. I haven't been using the blanket stitch. I'm going to practice my blanket stitch and we're going to get going. See that price there? Yeah, I left the price tag on. Any purchase at a national park benefits the national parks. So then I got, oh, these were lovely. At Quilter's Treasures, they have wall hangings, stained glass ones, which I like, and I've kind of done some work on them, but again, this is something I have to work on a little bit more, but I do love it because you can do it. And of course, and what made me fall in love was I saw this, they had all these Celtic knots and Celtic knot braid work, and I thought that was great. Now, what they do, and you kind of, there, you can see this, that's a glue syringe. This is no-sew, although clearly I'm going to do binding on this one. So it's mostly sewing down, it's gluing it down. I might look into how you can get this lace work, this leading here, it'd be the leading and sew that down. But these are wall hanging, so it's okay to use glue. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the fusible fabric because it unfuses. These two kind of go together, although I got them at different places. This is pre-printed mini whole cloth. This one came from my favorite stencil place, Quilting Stencils. I'll tell you about that a little bit more. And this is a whole thing with the United States Navy seal. And what you do is you embroider over that. It is washable out. You wash it out after you embroider over it. You'll learn how to use my machine to do this, although looking at that, there's probably a lot of starting and stopping. But I'm looking forward to trying that. That's why I got a mini one. I probably should have gotten something smaller and easy to work with. This is a sailing ship. You're noticing a theme here. My husband and I are both vets. That's why. This one is what that will become, basically. It's already all embroidered, and it's basically a panel. So I thought that was really cool, and I'll be putting that into a panel, and I'll show you all that. I did get a pattern, which I love Bargello, and we're going to have a class. I'm going to do a video on Bargello too. I fell in love with this one. I've always wanted to do this, so I got that. Now, the downside of having my phone in the car was I take all my notes on my phone. I use Google Keep, and I have a thought, I just write it down. Well, I saw this beautiful pattern, and I couldn't write it down, and it required this piece, so I at least started looking for this tool. You know me and tools. Well, this one from Jaybird Quilts, I was willing to spend the money on because maybe finally I can get my pieced hexagons to lay flat. I can't get them. Maybe if I have the right tool, I can get them to lay flat when I sew them, and then finally I can do a one block wonder, which is what I've been wanting to do. So I managed to find this not at where I saw the quilt pattern, and I was later able to find the quilt pattern, which was a hexagon one that actually didn't use it had pieced hexagons and non-pieced hexagons. But so I decided it was worth it to buy this tool. It looks really big, but it does have the 4 sizes, which the nice person at the nice vendor explained it all to me. So you do get, the 2.5-inch hexagons, I think. Let me see. Well, it's got the various hexagon sizes, trust me. And if I know Jaybird Quilts inside this little thing, there's probably some ideas for quilt patterns. So that's that. And you know me about tools, but this was worth it, I think, to get this specialty tool. I'm like, I got a Cricut and a ruler and a rotor cutter. What more do I need? This one, I think I need it. Now, the fun part was, as I told you, the quilting, what is their correct name? It is the Stencil Company. And I have ordered stencils from them before, and they were just awesome. When I saw they were there, I literally cracked my knuckles and rolled up my sleeves. My husband left to sit down at that point because he knew what was going to happen. I was going to be a while. So I got some new stencils that are continuous line because we're going to be getting into free motion quilting, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And stencils play a big role in it. So I got some new stencils. This is a nice snowflake. And I got a heart, intertwined hearts. So that'll be nice when I do baby quilts and such, because I like to always put that in there. And of course, I got a butterfly. I actually got 2 butterflies. I'll show you the other one in a minute. I'm not sure this is continuous. In fact, I know it's not continuous line because you can see that piece doesn't attach to anything else. So when you do this one, you're going to be cutting your thread and starting and stopping, but I don't care. It's a butterfly. And I got a cute little fan one. Again, not continuous line, but it's a cute little fan that maybe I'll put on some of my fan ones. And I got this vine, or feather. I cannot do feathers to save my life in free motion quilting. I just can't get the motion right. So I got this stencil, a very simple one, because with the double Irish chain, I think I'm going to do feather quilting because there's peacock feathers in it. And I found a very simple one that is continuous line. You just start here and twist around and go down and boom and down and boom. And I know, oops, you couldn't see what I was doing. And then when you get up to the top, you just go around and the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. And it all goes very nice. Yeah, you just have to go up and everything, and there you go. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then, of course, more butterflies in a row with some flowers. So again, continuous line, well, those kind of don't, and that's not quite continuous line. But you can do all of this as a continuous line. It all twists and turns together so you can do it. I'll be explaining how to get these lines down easier. So that was the quilt show, and this turned out to be much longer than I thought. This was supposed to be a short, and if I'd had my camera with me, it probably would have been. But now this got rather long. So enjoy this bonus episode of Legal Quilts, and I'll see you next time.